But we can reveal our biggest NBA takeaways from week 4 NBA basketball if anybody's ready. Oh, go JB.
My biggest takeaways are COVID is needs to be contained within the league right now. A lot of games being postponed. Very upset about this. But talent wise, Washington still trying to find their identity. I think the Brooklyn Nets, um, not really sure. It's kind of early, so their woes will. I feel like they'll figure it out towards mid-season and get things rolling. Milwaukee has been playing really well. My Heat have been playing really terrible.
And I just really love like how Joel is really seizing the moment and actually stepping up and being a player that I always knew he could be. He's playing like the best player in the league, true MVP on both ends of the floor, and they're being rewarded for it with that top seed. So I mean, you always got the Celtics as well. JB and Tatum, them boys is really some dogs. Hopefully the Celtics. I always wanted to pick them to always come out the East, but I feel as if they just get too inconsistent toward when it matters. So we'll see if they can have me be wrong on that pick towards the end of the season. But those are my takeaways. And in the West, man, it's just like it's Bron, Lakers, AD. No one over there is really impressive except for the Portland Trailblazers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Dane. You know, that boy be killing every single night. And whoever that reporter is that said that Russ and Bill was a better backcourt is sleep. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Gotcha. Anybody ready? Ready? Anybody ready? Anybody ready? Demise on you.
A lot of people, when we did our preseason picks, talked about the Jazz, and the Jazz sit right now as the third seed. It's tied for the third seed at 7-4. When I watch them, they still look like the same team playing hard defense every night. Donovan is the bucket. Rudy Gobert is going to do his thing inside. He did get embarrassed a couple games. He got embarrassed against Jared Allen and stuff like that. So, but I mean, they win games. So they just look consistent to me. Phoenix, when I've watched them, they just look like a cleaner basketball team. Shout out Chris Paul and Monty Williams and those guys. I really like the Suns. Stephen Curry dropping threes on guys' heads, and the Warriors sit at 6-5. They play the Nuggets tonight. Nuggets are 5-6, who haven't really looked that good as I thought they would, and I had them, I believe, as my 2 seed. So, if the Warriors pull out this one tonight, I mean, I'd be impressed as well. They're finding a way. So, got to give their hats off to them. For the Eastern Conference, the Celtics sit at number 1. 7-3. I think JB and Jason Tatum could be as good as any 1-2 punch in the league, including LeBron and AD, including Paul, Kawhi. I just think when one is off the floor, the other one thrives. But at the end of the game, when they put the ball in Tatum's hands, I mean, he's been coming through. So I just think their 1-2 punch, in addition to the supporting pieces they have, they are contenders. Like Jalen alluded to, the 76ers, and B, got to give him his credit. Doc Rivers is bringing the most out of him. The Bucks, I mean, they're 8-4, and then at times they looked really good, shot the ball better than I thought they could. So, I mean, I still have the Nets coming out, but it's good to see basketball back in this capacity. And I will say, you can definitely tell the difference between, the arena and the bubble. And if COVID doesn't get, under control, it'll be interesting to see how these players will make that change again. But hopefully that isn't the case.
John.
Yeah. So I want to start with the Nuggets because I know Demond said I also had them in my top 3, and I still think they will be top 3. But this team has not had all their players at any point this season. I mean, MPJ he has COVID. We wish a speedy recovery for MPJ, but he was averaging 29 points a game before he went out, and that's missing. So them not having MPJ right now is very huge. But when he returns, I expect the Nuggets to still be a great basketball team. I expect them to make the playoffs. obviously, when we picked before, I also had the Rockets as my 8th seed, but I also preface that with Harden being there to get them to AC. I just thought he'd be there, but obviously him being traded, I said that if he got traded, then Portland would make it. So I think right now the Western Conference looks exactly the way I thought it would look. There's no real surprises anywhere. Like it looks pretty much the same as it did last year, with just the Suns being in and the Nuggets being on the outside. I mean, the Spurs look good this year. Shout out to the Spurs. Shout out to Greg Popovich. They're doing a good job this year, using all of their talent wisely and nicely. So you got to wonder if the Spurs are going to be that 8th seed, maybe 7th seed moving forward. The Western Conference looks set. LeBron looks good. AD looks good. The Lakers are the number 1 defensive team in the league. So that's what's up. As far as the Eastern Conference goes, the Celtics haven't played in a week. They haven't played in like 7 or 8 days. So through their first 10 games, yeah, going 7-3 is impressive. However, they haven't played in a while. So you got to wonder how that's going to impact them moving forward. And also, like, if they're able to continue to pick up on that energy that they had before most of their players ended up going through those COVID protocols. And as Jalen said, that has been a key takeaway. Like, COVID is very much real. The NBA is not immune, despite having a very successful bubble last year. And I think that the tougher protocols that they announced on Monday is a little wild. Kind of trying to control them in their life and, say that they can't leave and can't have family members or guests in the hotels. I think it's a little bit crazy, but hopefully the players are able to thug it out and manage. I know the G League is going to the bubble in a couple of weeks, so shout out to those players. But yeah, the Bulls are going to still make the offs. I know right now they are on the outside looking in, but they are. They're like top 5 in offensive efficiency. The problem is they're 31st in overall defense. So that's causing a concern. But you look at their last few games, they've been in the West Coast. They played the Clippers, lost by 3. Played the Lakers, lost by 2. Played the Kings, lost by 3. Was down to the Blazers last week by 20, came back and won. Lost off a buzzer beater to the Warriors. So I like how the Bulls are playing this year. I think Billy Donovan has made a legit change in that organization, and I think that they're going to be good enough to still make the postseason. Right now, like I said, they're on the outside looking in, but with the Thunder coming up, the Mavericks coming up, a Rockets team coming up, I see them winning a few games and going to the postseason. I mean, you can look at me like that, but every team I said I was going to make the Western Conference is literally in right now.
Talk to him, John. Let him know.
Can I tell what you was going to say, Jay?
I wanted to ask you a question.
About defense?
You said offensively, y'all are what, top 5 in offensively efficiency? Okay, and defensively, y'all are where?
31st.
Okay.
On the 30 teams.
Oh, my fault. 29th, man. I'm thinking about football. My fault.
You good.
Oh, man. All right. Thought you said all that matters was a bucket. Getting buckets motivation.
Do we have a James Harden or KD on our team? Or who is this kid, bro? Bro, what
I didn't say that, but you can be better.
Argument I use for the Bulls and the Nets as a reason as to why
bro.
That don't even make sense, bro.
You can be better than 29 defensively.
You see it, Seattle.
That
boy hit 10 threes, dropped 45 on the Clippers in the L, but he all-star this year. Yes, sir.
Hey, before I let you go, Derek, I just got one big takeaway. LaMelo Ball, my rookie of the year candidate, has been playing like a rookie of the year so far through January 13 games. LaMelo Ball is 3rd in points per game with rookies with 11.7. He leads all rookies with assists with 5.9. Shockingly, he leads all rookies in rebounds with 7 rebounds. James Wiseman second with 6.4. And LaMelo leads all rookies in steals per game with 1.5. He has been playing stellar. He was the youngest player to ever record a triple-double. And it looked like the Rookie of the Year award will be in the Ball household in Chino Hills or wherever they reside. That's the way it's looking through these first 4 weeks of basketball. Carter, your takeaways before we move on off of basketball.
Before you go there, I just want to add on to your point, Bruiser. I do think that this is a really good rookie class, and all the rookies are having a pretty solid year. Tyrese, James Wiseman, Obi Toppin come back. I expect him to go off. Killian Hayes is hurt. Patrick Williams is having a good year. Rashard from Celtics is having a good year. Sam Vessel from the Spurs is having a good year. Danny Avdija, I mean, the Wizards are just trash, but I think he's in a bad situation. But most of the rookies that got drafted this year. They're really making a name for themselves. So shout out to most of the general managers who did a good job of drafting those talents.
Carter.
So NBA takeaways. My Pelicans, we got hit by the little COVID bug. They suspected, but Zion actually he didn't have it. He got tested again, so he'll be back. They canceled our game Monday against the Mavericks because of COVID. I ain't really like that. I wanted to see how we kind of faced up against them. Nikhil Alexander last night dropped 37 points, career high, and 7-8 rebounds on the Clippers. He was actually our only offense last night for real. Him and Brandon Ingram. I was glad we drafted him first round last year.
Did y'all win?
Obviously not. Win? Zion, Lonzo, and Eric Bledsoe didn't play. Any other questions?
Just all right, thank you.
You can mute. Yeah. So he started actually. That was his second career start, and then his second career start, he started once last season. He once this year. Stan Van Gundy said he was excited to see what he do. We drafted him first round. I think he was 12th pick out of Virginia Tech. So that was good to see him hoop and get his shine on. And he changed the number this year to 6 because he's from Canada and actually related to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Who else I want to talk about? Josh Hart been getting a lot of rebounds. Steven Adams is actually really, really good. That was one of the first games I really just sat down and watched a lot of the Pelicans.
You know that?
Obviously, I knew he was good at rebounds. I'm saying he's still good at it.
I could have told you that.
I love that BI has the green light, but I do think he is kind of a ball hog right now. He got to find a way to be efficient because a lot of the times I feel like he was just jacking it, and you could tell like all the plays were designed for him. I'm like, all right, I'm all for your best player getting the most shots, but sometimes you could be a little more humble or less selfish, I guess.
Is he really their best player though?
Yes.
I think it's Zion.
No.
Next topic.
I was excited.
Really
Kristaps Porzingis came back last night. He's on my fantasy team. I drafted him in like the 6th round, so I was excited to see him come back. He dropped 14.6 rebounds. The Warriors, I may owe them apologies soon. I may owe Jalen some money soon, but they looking they looking pretty decent right now.
Chris, please.
I heard John talk about Maxey. He was in a similar situation. Nikhil Alexander, they didn't have a lot of players available, so he dropped a lot of points in his first start with the Sixers. I think it was on the Hawks that was Monday night, I think. Yeah, Maxey dropped 30-something. That's a good look for him and good for his confidence. I was surprised. I honestly thought he was gonna be in the trade to get Harden if the Sixers got him because he looked like he could potentially be that type of player. Like he could be a good player eventually. Tyrese Halliburton balling as far as rookies go. In the East, Hawks are getting it together. For some reason it seems like without your boy, without Bogdanovich, he hurt his knee. Without him, they seem better. Actually, I felt like the Hawks tried to go.
They need Rondo back too. That's gonna help them facilitate the second unit. He been out for the last few games. That's why they.
Yeah, and I feel like with the Hawks, they tried to stack the deck on free agency when they really didn't need to, like bringing in Gallinari and Bogdanovich. I felt like they just trying to go overboard. I felt like the Hawks already had a good core. They just were young, so why not? I guess you got to bring in some people, but I don't think you should have I wouldn't have put none of them on no big time deals or max deals. I don't think it was worth it.
Well, that's the NBA boy. You got to overpay.
I know, but the Hawks could have just signed a bunch of younger. They could have signed some more young talent or just old veterans that are just trying to get some burn, like Rondo. Rondo not making crazy bread, but I feel like Gallinari and Bogdanovich really don't fit the culture of the Hawks. That's just me though. Celtics hit by COVID hard, like John said. A lot of game time missed. Tyler Heroes found it. He didn't have it. He didn't find it at first, but he found it. He dropped 30 or so the other day, and then came back and dropped another 30 piece. They lost, I can't thank to the Sixers, but he getting his contribution in now. So there's nothing you can really say bad about him right now. I knew he would probably get it going eventually. So that was good. And last but not least, like Bruce said, LaMelo almost had a triple-double, came a rebound short against the Pelicans, against Lonzo, playing against his brother, and then got it again the next game. And then the other night, he had, I think, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. I think the main thing for him is to figure out how to score. If he figure out how to score, it's sky is limitless. We know he could pass. We know he clearly could get boards. So once he find it, he's gonna have it. And Wiseman is a disappointment for me right now. I wanted to say that too.
A
But as long as the
disappointment.
Warriors, I mean, he don't play that many
You've
minutes.
been watching.
He don't do that much to me. I just think, but I think you don't have to right now. He's still learning.
Well, they don't. He only plays
He's not
18.
involved. That's what I'm saying. He's just there. But it's okay. The
But
Warriors center never really involved. So
He does a lot in those 18
Think about that though.
I'm talking about like it's just like he just get rebounds and play.
What you said, John?
Like the NBA. I don't know if it's a protocol, but like you see Ant-Man not even starting right now, which I think is ridiculous because it's some other dude, and I'm like, bro, why are you not starting? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think the lack of the summer league and preseason, they don't want these players to play extensive minutes and get hurt. And I think they're easing. I think Ant-Man will start eventually this year. I think Wiseman's minutes will increase, but I think they're still playing it extremely healthy until they would have reached the minutes of a summer league. And then once they feel like they're acclimated to game speed, they'll start to get their minutes back up. I see what you're saying about James Wiseman. They do try to get him involved, but
it's like he not. Yeah, it's just like he not there yet. But I think sitting out a whole season will do that to you too.
Yeah, right. He didn't play that many games in college.
He missed the whole. Well, he played one game, sat out.
Yeah, one game.
OG League in COVID. So he's like, I feel like he might be behind his development a little bit. That's okay. He on the right team for
he's
it.
Solid, though. I mean, he got a jumper, and he's
in the right organization to get right. He still got frame to build out and stuff. Like that's the thing about big men. Like if you're not coming in with an NBA body already, it's gonna take like a little minute to you really like at your full potential. Like Jonathan Allen really didn't get no burn like that too much. He was big, but he wasn't like fully there. And now this season, you see how he looking. You see like even Jackson Hayes kind of filled out a little bit more too. And Anthony Davis was
and Wendell. Wendell
small too.
That was super small. Now he getting big. Same with Larry Markkinen. That's just how it is. Like come in, they're drafting these boys at 19.
He's not into NBA body yet. And then think about it, a lot of them kids be 18, 19, 20, you know what I'm saying? So you're not even, you got a whole different level of life to hit before you get
like
to
Dwight Howard too.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So that's my takeaways. I'm done.